Hey guys, and welcome back to Deku Tarot and to your weekly tarot reading and astrology for April 27th through May 2nd of 2020. Last week of April, we're in Taurus season. I have my George Costanza candle here, my Lamb of God Costanza here that I got for my birthday. 2020, it was supposed to be the summer of George. So I put that up here just for the astrology half. I'll probably take it away when we get into the readings just because I don't want to waste any bit of this. I love this. And I did get it for my birthday this past week. So happy birthday to all Tauruses celebrating as well. Let's get into your astrology here. If you haven't, do make sure to subscribe. Do make sure to share the videos if you enjoyed it. And check out your readings for your sun, your moon, your rising, and your Venus. If you want to book a private reading, all my info is below. And I am taking 20% off during this pandemic time. And I'll talk a little bit about the astrology analysis through Truly Divine and how you can get 30% off at the end, okay? So let's get into this here with the astrology, all right? Monday, April 27th, we're starting off the week with the moon in Cancer. You also have Mercury moving into Taurus, which is pretty big here. So that's going to bring about a lot more prudent, methodical, practical thinking and execution. We're going to be a lot more tenacious, unlikely to change our mind and where we're directing our energy at this time. We're going to be taking our time to establish conclusions and judgments with Mercury in Taurus because it does bring up this more dogmaticism, this slow, silent processes that are going to be a lot more common in terms of making a decision, changing direction, in terms of, again, where we're directing our energy in general here. So judgments formed during this time will probably end up sticking and not changing. On Tuesday, April 28th, we have a couple of things here, mostly small stuff until Wednesday. Sun in Taurus sextiling the moon in Cancer, bringing up equality and ability to deal well with all. We're going to be feeling at home and looking towards friends and family for any support or help at this time. We also have Mercury in Taurus squaring Saturn in Aquarius, bringing up some more quarrelsome, greedy, and suspicious energies. Wednesday, April 29th, which is going to be pretty big here, we do have Saturn retrograding beginning on Capricorn. I feel like I said that super weird. Saturn retrograde begins on Capricorn. All right. I feel like you can't say it right anyway. Anyways, delays resulting in your long-term plans. Fear of failure might come up here, and this more self-deprecation, provoking a lot of self-punishment. So watch out for that while Saturn's retrograding in Capricorn at this time. I'm not sure exactly when that ends. For some reason, I didn't write it down. I do apologize. So let's move on now here. We also have the moon in Cancer on that same day, opposite Pluto in Capricorn, bringing up more one-sided views of emotions, feeling dejected, and having more addictions to pleasure and self-indulgence as a reaction. We also have the moon in Leo opposite Saturn and Aquarius on this day, bringing again this dissatisfied, introverted, more depressed, and low energy due to perceived restrictions here. So Wednesday could be a little bit Thursday, April 30th, we have the moon in Leo squaring Mercury in Taurus here, so spiritual gifts are going to be in focus here, and we're going to be less superficial and hasty. We also have the moon in Leo squaring Uranus in Taurus, which is going to bring up eccentric, headstrong, capricious, intense energy here. Could also bring up some derailments of relationships, so watch out for that. We also have Mercury in Taurus conjuncting Uranus in Taurus, so both of them being in Taurus, it's going to make us more progressive, unconventional, creative, inventive, and intuitive here. It's going to bring up this more adaptability and agile mindset, which is interesting for all this Taurus energy, but Uranus and Taurus really brings in that opposite again, adaptable, non-traditional energy. So we're going to be ignoring the traditional here. And that's pretty much all the big stuff going on this week in terms of astrology. So from here forward, we're going to be talking the tarot for the week, all right? Pisces Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. We're going to look at your week ahead here with the Game of Thrones tarot. I have a little funny story here before we get too into this. So my mother sent me some gifts this past week for my birthday, and one of them was this cloth, and I was like, okay, this is a cloth for wrapping some tarot in. It's pretty interesting. And then I, video chatted her on my birthday when I opened it, and she was like, oh, this is a napkin that I stole from Guy Fieri's restaurant. So I have a stolen napkin from Flavortown. And that's what we'll be using, I guess, to wrap some cards in. But I thought you guys would enjoy that story. So Pisces, I hope you liked that. Now I have this great Guy Fieri napkin here. Very spicy. So let's take this reading to Flavor Town, guys. Let's pull some cards here. All right. Ooh. And what's going on here? Ooh. All right, so interesting. And I feel like you guys got 2 cards of guidance here, and I think that you're going to need it this week. Because your theme here is Ten of Swords reversed, which isn't the worst place to be in. Whatever has happened has already happened, okay? The worst has already come through, and now we're pulling out the swords, and you have to remember that dawn will still come. Things will still get better. Life goes on. We're going to have to pull out these swords and examine the wounds that they've left, mentally, emotionally especially. You know, the Ten of Swords feels like a very painful, difficult ending, of course, and what you have to know, though, is that you now have an advantage to move forward. You now can see where things have ended. You've seen how the misfortune has happened, the very sudden possible. For some of you, sudden misfortune, sudden pains. We're feeling it, yes, but we're also taking out the swords, recovering, and learning what we can from it, especially mentally. We're looking at the wounds, we're adjusting, and we're looking at the fact that dawn is still breaking over the horizon. How you're feeling this week is Nine of Swords, I'll be honest, which is difficult. It's a lot of anxiety, fears, worry. There's guilt, shame, sadness, you know. For some of you, you might feel like you've been imprisoned in a situation, like your mind is a negative prison. You don't know where things are going, you don't know why, and you're feeling very attacked and uneasy. You know, there's a lot of failure, there's disappointment that's really overshadowing our desires here. There's a lot of negativity there with the Nine of Swords and being in kind of a negative headspace. So really watch out for that in your spiritual and emotional. Your advice to a lot of this energy, I'm just going to bring up the advice now just because I think that we should. Chariot and the Star. Both major arcanas, both about moving forward, about healing. You can bring, you know, this is, you know, when we get control over this tension that we've been dealing with, control over the opposites, when we're now going forward in a direction instead of in circles. We're no longer allowing something to take us in 2 different directions. We're not trying to ride 2 horses with one ass here. You can see that there's one dragon, and that there's a bunch of people that are rallying this on towards the same type of victory, towards the same direction here. We want the same thing, and now we're headed towards that. The Chariot has us in the driver's seat, and the Star has us, you know, looking towards the future with high hopes. It's having hope. It's having that kind of the bravery to have hope, to know that everything is going to be okay as we push forward, and know that we just need to keep on moving forward with a positive attitude, and know that everything will work itself out here. The universe backs us, and where we're headed to is a better way of living, a more transcendent, happier, more aligned way of living. And again, this shows a healed place. We're heading towards healing, okay? But we have to really focus on the tension of opposites and what's at play there. You know, what do we want versus what are we accepting, and how are those things intermingling? Do they support each other, or are they really at odds with one another? That kind of stuff, with what we're doing versus, you know, what we want, all that kind of stuff here. In career, we have, you know, obviously that kind of fighting energy here, defeatism, feeling stuck, feeling trapped, feeling like, you know, there's really no way out but to, you know, be beaten down, to be attacked. For some of you, it's like you feel that you've lost a battle and that there's not much to do, that you're at a major loss and defeat here. I mean, here we show in Game of Thrones, Bran, when he is supposed to be looking over Winterfell, and then Theon comes in and screws, you know, messes up everything, takes over, and he doesn't really have much to do. He doesn't even have the use of his legs. So, and he's a kid, and he's never dealt with any of this. So it's very, very feeling attacked. I mean, by somebody who he thought was his brother too. It's just, it's very attacked. It's very defeated by somebody with malicious force is how you're going to feel. And Page of Spears is going to be like, I feel like some of you might be dealing with people who have a lot of negative things to say at work, a lot of holes to poke in situations, and that they expect you to kind of deal with it and pick up the pieces. But Page of Spears is, you know, I think I might start looking for something more. For some of you, I think I'm going to start looking for a better job, a better situation. But it's also, Page of Spears is looking at the situation, not so much fighting back in the biggest way, saying what needs to be said in the smallest way possible if you're going to be saying anything. But it's really just reading the situation after maybe a defeat, after being hurt, after a situation has kind of been really difficult for a while and you felt like you've been in a battle that's just been losing. It's observing. The Page of Spears observes the situation and decides what to do next. You know, looks for a way out, looks for a way forward. And that's what you're going to need to do in terms of work this week and career. Love and romance is a little interesting here. We get the 9 of Wands reversed and then the 10 of Rods reversed. And that's a really interesting, it just feels, with the 9 of Wands reversed for me, that's always a release here. You know, we're ready for battle, we're ready to fight. And when the 9 of Spears is reversed, it's like, I can't do it. I can't do it anymore. You know, there's indecision, there's obstacles, and there's a need to put down these wands. For some of you, it could also be that you need to put down your defenses within a situation because you don't want to fight anymore. 10 of Spears reverse says, I'm dropping my burden. I don't want to fight for something that maybe you haven't even told the person you've been fighting for. 9 of Spears is letting your guard down, but also letting this anxious stance you've been in, defensive stance you've been in here. Let's look at this a little deeper. For some of you, it's that you need to get really grounded about a situation. This needed to end maybe a while ago with the Death reversed. There's something that we have to let go of and that we need to say goodbye to that has ended. When the Death shows up reversed, you know, we've been stagnant about something. There's a tendency to hold on to a situation, and maybe it's that we feel very attached to it. We feel grounded with this person, this situation, but it's become a codependency and attachment, something, maybe even an obsession for some of you. And we have to really look at why we're holding on to this and if we've been really defensive about holding on to it versus doing anything about it. Like, something has to be done here. And I feel like some of you guys are really at odds about what to do about it. But you know you need to let go of the spears. We know we need to let go of these rods because it's become too much here. We have a lot of self-defeatism about a love situation, but I don't think you guys are being very vocal about it, and you're really holding on to this defeated, you know, but not ending energy about love. Yeah, we're not communicating about it, and there's not a lot of forward action either. There's really just miscommunication or non-communication about a situation. This could be about somebody that hasn't communicated with you in a while. And again, your best way to do this is to stop riding 2 horses with one ass. If you want to if you want to be with somebody, you want something to happen there, and and it hasn't, and you're feeling all these things that we were just talking about with all those cards, then it's time to do something about it. It's time to bring your tensions over opposites and control them, to do something about it. You want this, but you're not willing to open up about it. You want this, but you're not willing to go for it. You might just not be communicating about it, and you might know that if you communicate, it won't be worth it. So it's deciding that you need to do something here moving forward, but you also have to have hope. You have to have faith here with the Star. Sorry about that. Scylla has a lot to say about that, apparently. Hopefully she'll be quiet. Give me a second. Okay, I think she's done. I hope so. So let's pull a Doreen Virtue Romance Angel Oracle card for you guys, and then we're going to pull a Lindsay Andrews card as well. Ooh. I don't really think that there's much else to say about that one. What is wrong with me? I cannot do this. Separation. It keeps like trying to flip itself reverse, and I don't usually look at oracle cards reverse, but it feels kind of weird to me today. Some of you are separated or in separation from this person. Time apart from your partner is on the horizon, or you need to separate yourself from a situation where we can't make this work. We can't find communication, and we can't seem to bridge this gap. Some of you guys might have been in separation this whole time. This might be a connection in separation. But if you don't speak, getting to know each other always tells me that you need to speak up about who you are. As you reveal your innermost selves to each other, your bond deepens. You can only come through this separation as you start to reveal how you feel, who you are, your true feelings, and the truth of this situation here. You can't expect this to progress without any action on your part. All right, so let's check out a Lynn V. Andrews Oracle card. Pisces. I almost just said Aquarius for some reason. Pisces, Pisces, Pisces. Ooh, all right, we'll take this. Witness. Beautiful card. Live in your sacred witness. That inner place of silence and observing is your true identity and therefore your true power. It is all you really have when all else is gone. Like monoliths in an ancient valley, they observe and remember the passage of the ages. The answers that you find through the timelessness of spirituality and the innocence of nature offer the infinite. Each human being is on his or her own path, each different from yours. Answers to your questions are rarely found in another human. Answer your own questions by reflecting on nature and conversing with your own sacred witness. Really beautiful messages here. So Pisces, I hope you have a wonderful and blessed week. And thank you guys so much for all of your support. Do make sure to subscribe, share the video. If you want to book a private reading, guys, all of that information is always right below in my description box. And again, I'm taking 20% off of all of my readings right now, just to help out during this whole pandemic global situation. Do check out Truly Divine. They are an incredible astrology and numerology service. They do analysis just for yourself, for your life path number. They also do compatibility analysis for numerology as well as astrology. And the astrology one was just like, I mean, they were both incredible, but I still am going back and reading it. I started rereading my own astrology analysis this past week again, and it's just incredible. So do check them out, guys. You can get 30% off with my code Deku30. You can use it as many times as you want. You don't just have to use it once. You can give it to as many friends. They can use it. So do take advantage of that. They're the best astrology and numerology analysis system I've ever used, and I get readings, and I've had analysis done by people in person for astrology and numerology, and they just blow them all out of the water. So definitely check out their services. I'm really impressed by them, and I'm really happy I get to work with them. So check that out, guys. Make sure to subscribe, and have a wonderful and blessed week. Alrighty. Namaste.